All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA Show. So, I'm going to call this podcast, You Will Receive It When You Earn It. I think a lot of people, more than ever, and I don't want to just say young people, I just think people in general think that they deserve a lot more than they have, or they deserved a lot more than they got. I think a lot of people believe this. I also think they overvalue themselves. I think a lot of people think they're a lot sharper than they are, or they're a lot more intelligent than they really are. I also think a lot of people talk shit about how it was somebody else's fault, why they didn't succeed, or why they didn't earn a certain type of lifestyle or finances. It could be their husband, their wife, their kids, family members, friends. They got burned, all the bullshit. But the reality, I think, is when all is said and done, it's on you. If you don't have what you want, there's a million reasons why that can happen, but the reality at the very end of it, I should say, is you didn't earn it. You maybe weren't intelligent enough to pull it off. You weren't as creative. You didn't know how to make the right moves at the right time. I talk a lot about, people's lifestyles, how they kind of also follow others, expecting the same results. That it most likely that's never going to happen, because I discuss this all the time. None of us live the same lifestyle. But I kind of went through this lately, and I'm just going to give you a heads up. So I was creating for the last, say, 6 months, a new clothing line, CELENZA, Il Nome Dici Tutto, which the name says it all. The name CELENZA is based off my last name, Excellence. I think my grandfather, the town of Italy, at least our family's from Vasto, but if our last name is almost in that word, except there's 2 L's. But I was going to do a clothing line based off of that word, CELENZA. And it was going to be the athleisure wear of the future. And I was working on so many different logos and all these different things, and with cyborgs and robots. I also was working on a certain symbol with coffee. When you looked at an espresso, I wanted you to think CELENZA, that logo. I even created my own logo with that, all these different things. And then I went and, this was my second clothing line. My first one was Sore Losers Wear, which was a clothing line for people who hated to lose. Our slogan was, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you come in first. So I did that about 15 years ago, and I wasn't that successful with it. I got a lot of buzz, but I kind of went too hard, trying to do too much. I was trying to do extreme sports. I was trying to do mainstream sports. I was trying to do gamer wear. I was just all over the place. I was doing too many different logos, too many different style, just shirts. I just got lost. And this was really before the social media craze. So the only way you can market, you had a website, you can market it there, or email. There was no Facebook. I don't even know if MySpace was out when I was doing this. I don't think so. I don't even know if Twitter was out or any of these things. So I created it. I had to do inventory. I loved the experience. The 2 guys I was doing with had a falling out, so I kind of fell out with them. I was brokenhearted. To make a long story short, I always wanted to do another clothing line. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do Sore Losers Wear. It was very kind of on a negative tip. Plus, with political everything now, it got away from sports, and it kind of went political. And then with this whole thing with the president and all that, like losing or any other, everybody calls him a sore loser, or whoever's involved with politics, whoever loses is a sore loser. It's the last thing I wanted to do. So I went with CELENZA, and like I said, I was designing all these different logos and different concepts. And I heard now that you can go to a company online and they do everything for you. You could pick your clothes, you design from top to bottom everything. You pick out the garment, you put your logo on it, you can even put your logo on the tag. Then they will take it, once you authorize it, then they will take it and ship it if you put any orders in. So I had to create a website as well, which I was in the process of doing. And I did a bunch of tests. They sent me a bunch of clothing that I created online with them, and I did not like the quality at all. I brought the highest end quality clothing that they had, and I put my logos on it. I got them all in, and I was was I aggravated. Holy shit, was I aggravated. It's not necessarily all their fault. And this is why a lot of times when you start a clothing line, I say too but it's hard. You want to see the clothing, you want to feel it, you want to smell it before you do anything. But in this case, I didn't want to be like last time where I had to go, have the clothing created, then I had to buy the clothing, then I had to inventory it, and then anytime someone ordered it, I had to wrap it up, I had to ship it. I didn't want to do all that. I was trying to kind of get away from all that. I wanted it to be simple. I wanted if somebody sees my clothing line online, they like it, click, it goes to them, boom, they print it and they send it out. But the quality just wasn't there. I'm really aggravated with that. I'm still aggravated, and I'm trying to hold it together with that because I work so long. To make a long story short, nobody's better. I haven't been able to find anybody better, and I think one of the reasons why, too, is a lot of the companies, especially California, that do online printing for clothing or for many different things, a lot of them, because of COVID, it seems like it's either closed down or there's these delays and all this stuff. But the reason I bring this up is because I kind of always thought that, if I did a clothing line, it would just be a natural fit for me. And I would have people follow it and like it and hopefully love it and maybe purchase it, hopefully. And I would, earn some recognition, maybe extra income off of it. But it never happened. I didn't earn it. I'm just not getting it done for some reason. It just is not lining up. And I come from the garment industry. My grandfather owned and operated the largest garment tailoring shop in Chicago. I almost, to a degree, sometimes I think it's almost my right to be successful in this, but I'm really not successful at it. I never truly earned it. And it's hard for me to sometimes think that or say that. And, if you're somebody out there and you think, you just haven't caught your break, and there's obviously millions of those people. I was one of them too. If you're not earning it, you're maybe not good at it. Or you're just not figuring out how to do it right. Or you're not putting enough work into it. And I just want to address this because I think so many people, really, and I don't mean to be an asshole a lot of times on these podcasts, they overvalue themselves. And they think their ideas are better than everyone else's. Or they think their ideas everybody will gravitate towards. Or whatever they do, they'll be successful with. It's just not the case. When you see people that are very successful, most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, some people inherit things from their family members, or I don't know where they inherit it from, but they may even work somewhere and they end up at a certain spot and they may get a lot of money or get a lot of exposure, notoriety, whatever. One way or another, they earned it. I'm not saying it wasn't easier for them, and it's not harder for you. But I'm just telling you, they figured out a way to do it. All right? So if you think you deserve something, then you better prove that you deserve it. Quit pretending like, and I think it's the pretend game when I talk to so many people. And a lot of people are failing, a lot. And one is they either pretend, too, that they've earned a lot more than they've earned, especially with money. Or they've, for instance, if they're authors, I know, sold a lot more books than they sold. They may not say what they sold, but they pretend like they did. Or they pretend like they're a lot bigger in real estate than they really are. Or they pretend, it's just a pretend game. That's another thing. Just be aware of the only person you're bullshitting is yourself. If you've earned success, you know what I mean? People know it. After time. I wouldn't bullshit anybody. And I understand a lot of people are like, no, fake it till you make it, all that shit. Get out of here with that. But I'm going to tell you something. When you may hit a point, and I've been there before, where I did start to earn whatever I thought I deserved, and I realized, wow, this is from a lot of hard work. And I'm not saying you always got to work hard. I mean, some people, it just falls in their lap. Let's call it for what it is. Everyone thinks hard work's going to give me everything I want. That's how I'm going to earn everything. That's not always the case. A lot of guys I know that work the hardest don't have the most. And I mean, I think a lot of people know that. And I also know a lot of lazy pieces of shit that make a tremendous amount of money, right? They earn a lot, and they don't do much. Again, they earned it. They figured it out. So I just thought I would do a quick podcast on this. Sometimes I go on these crazy rants, but I'm telling you, don't think you deserve anything when it comes to, I guess is what I'm saying, when it comes to your own personal kind of creations. is what I should say. If you're creating things independently and you're an inventor, or you could be an influencer, or whatever the case may be, if you want to earn that recognition, maybe that extra income and all that stuff, you better get your head out of your ass and figure it out. Quit boo-hooing about it, because I've been through that too. And, there could be a lot of things wrong. The way your marketing could be wrong. The way you're sending your message could be wrong. Your platforms on social media may be wrong. Your emails may be wrong. There's a lot of things that can be wrong while you're not succeeding. I'm just telling you right now. But don't think a lot of times you deserve everything or a lot more than you have. You got to go get it. A lot of times, no one's going to give it to you. So, take care, and I wish you the best.